Then there's the AFC. I'll tell you this, folks. I did not see this coming. And back and forth I go on, is it the toughest division? I mean, the toughest conference in football? Because we do see a ton of 5-5 teams. We do see these teams, when they do take on NFC teams, the only team that you see on the AFC screen right here that has not beaten an NFC team this year are the Patriots. They're not even on the screen here because they're so terrible with just 2 wins.
So bad.
Wow.
And you look at the Jets and the Chargers and the Raiders and the Bengals. I mean, certainly we were talking about a lot of these teams as possible playoff teams this year. Who's gonna be out? Who's gonna be in? Because the Jets are definitely gonna make the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers, and he played 4 snaps before his Achilles snapped. Burrow's out for the season now. The Raiders have Jimmy G as a third-string quarterback now. He's not even close to playing. He's done as a Raider, unless there's going to be a huge injury rash there. The Chargers, highly disappointing. They're looking up at the Broncos and the Colts. And the Bills have been remarkably, shockingly average at times. And their record shows it. They're even behind a Steelers team that's been outscored in every single game that they've played this season, to the point they made an in-season coordinator or coaching change for the first time since FDR was telling us about fear itself. 1941. They're 6-4. And look who's 6-4 also. The Texans. I'll tell you this, folks, with the Browns at 7-3 and Deshaun Watson hasn't even played more than, 6 of those games. The Chiefs having just lost. The Ravens are the only 8-win team. The Jaguars and the Texans this week is for the AFC South. And if the Texans win that, they can win a division title after being 2nd and 3rd overall on the clock this past year. The Dolphins are sitting there right now also at 7-3. I'll say this. I just mentioned these teams. If you put it up one more time, that AFC standings. Ravens, Chiefs, Jaguars, Dolphins, Bills, and I'll throw the Browns and the Texans in there also. Don't you think any of them can beat the other team in their house on the proverbial any given Sunday? In the same way that on the NFC, it's just like, I don't see teams coming out of nowhere and winning a divisional playoff game or a championship weekend playoff game in someone else's house. You think the Browns go to Baltimore, can't win that game again, even with DTR?
I think
they could.
Defense is good enough.
Right?
Yeah.
The Ravens, do you think they can go into the Chiefs' house and beat the Chiefs in the same way the Eagles just did?
Yep, absolutely.
Do you think the Chiefs can go into Baltimore and do it to them there? Mm-hmm. Do you think the Browns can go into Kansas City and beat the Kansas City Chiefs there? That's maybe one of the largest stretches. How about this one? Do you think the Jaguars or Texans can go into Baltimore and beat the Baltimore Ravens in the bank?
I do.
Okay. Do you think the Texans can go into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs?
Normally you'd say no, right? Mm-hmm. But if you look at the Chiefs' offense in the second halves of these games,
0.0.0. It's a full Dean Wormser the last 3 weeks.
Stroud, Tank Dell, Nico, Devin Singletary, they're putting up points.
And for anybody that's sitting here and thinking you're out of your mind, Kurt Warner, who throws around compliments for quarterbacks like manhole covers that have been welded shut on an F1 course race in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Nice.
When I asked him on Tuesday's show, name me the guy you're seeing on tape who is seeing it and spinning it consistently well, more than most, maybe the best out of anybody from week 1 to week now. He said C.J. Stroud. So the AFC, I think we are full-on shrug emoji entering week 12, Thanksgiving Thursday. And in the NFC, I think you can pretty much say who the Final Four is going to be. In the AFC, I have no earthly idea. Certainly, if Mahomes has to play his first playoff game of his career on the road, first conference playoff game, in someone else's house, not a neutral site. It's kind of wild that that's been the case.
Yeah, right.
So that is the state of play entering your Thanksgiving week and weekend of 2023. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.